Hi everybody, how you doing? This is Frank with Frankly Horse Racing, and we're going to take a look at this Saturday, the Stephen Foster Day, and the stake races that they have going on. Life takes over sometimes, and my air conditioning's been out almost a week. Seems like it happens every year, and it's chemo week. So we're not going to do a full by the numbers. I'll just do a quick scan and review of the main races. And I guess it'll work into the late pick 5. And then if you got any questions or comments, make sure you shoot them over to me. And then I'll try to do the best I can to answer everything this week. Okay, let's start off. The first one is the 7th race on Saturday, the Fleur de Lis. This one here is going to be fillies and mares. So let's, as usual, take a look at the pace ratings. Right here is the box with the visual view. It says it's going to favor front runners. And here is the numbers of the front end. And we've got Torpedo Anna really has a pretty decent advantage, almost 20 points on the front end. So unless somebody gets out and really pressures her and she bounces back after the last race, then it could be a long day for the others. But let's get through it and take a quick look at these horses and see what it looks like. Okay, so we've got number 1, Royal Spa, who has seemed to run every other race pretty decently. You've got a 118 going here at Laurel, and then runs another dud, and then runs, even though she won, she was so much classier than the other ones, and then she goes back and runs a beautiful 116 in that last race to beat Jin Jin and Alpine Princess. So this horse can run up to a 116. She's a 5-year-old. She may be able to progress a little bit. I think that's kind of her top end. But right now, if she runs, especially with Prod on her, she's in a pretty good situation because I think she can turn good numbers. At Churchill Downs, she has 50%, 3 out of 6 wins. So you can't argue with that. Let's move on to number 2, Save Time. Save Time is losing Lasix. Top end number is a 106. And again, we're looking at time form today because I don't have time this week with chemo to do all the different forms in my dad's numbers. So I feel confident with this. This was a 1.8 race, so 109's top end there. Losing Lasix does add IRAD for this race again. So, we'll see how it shakes out. To me, unless the pace really breaks down, I just don't see it. Number 3 is Torpedo Anna. McPeak and Hernandez are coming back on this one after a not a very good race. She just didn't look right the whole way. But if we bring up the actual race last time and take a look, it appears to me that closers actually did pretty good in that race. Front end was down here. But besides not being her day, I was all over Raging Sea, as a lot of people were, but 4-1 was amazing. But you got to decide, are you throwing that away or are you keeping it? I'm throwing that last race away. She's hit 120s before on multiple occasions. Is she running as fast this year as last year? Probably not, but I don't think she needs to. Especially with a pace advantage. But let's see how the rest turns out. Number 4 is Jin Jin. Jin Jin also ran good against Royal Sea last time. And I like that she threw a 119 before that. I actually today may like Jin Jin a little better than Royal Sea in that position. But there's nothing I can say bad about this horse. You got Walsh and Jose Ortiz. Run once at Churchill Downs at a 1.8 and didn't hit the board. But, overall, Churchill, she has not had a bad go of it. Taxed ran a very big race last time against Raging Sea. It really was the best chemo, the best number she's run in quite a while. I think, again, the pace is going to have to fall apart. But I do love the way this mare is running right now. But if you're asking for my selections right now, I'm going to, and I didn't type them out and write them out and everything, because again, with chemo week and no air conditioner, I'm hiding in the basement, and I've got chemo in about a half hour anyway. So let's just go to my selections. I put them up here. I really think that the 1, 4, and 5 can really battle it out for second, but I am going to throw out the last race, and I'm going with Torpedo Anna. I think she's going to be ready, and I also think the biggest thing to me is the pace factor. if somebody goes out there and tries to push her, they're killing themselves because she's faster than the rest of them in the first couple quarters. So I think she's going to bounce back and win this race. So Torpedo Anna is my selection over the 145. Let's move on to race 8. Race 8 is the Teppan Stakes, and the Teppan Stakes is going to be a flat mile, I believe, for fillies. Yes, for fillies, 3-year-old fillies. So let's go through this one. Number 1 is Fixin' to Be. We did not look at the pace projector. Fixin' Be actually is kind of a skewed closer. So if there's any pace up front battling, this horse could be flying at the end. We'll have to see how her numbers look and match up. But I like the way the race sets up for her. Wish it was a little faster on the front, but there's enough that are about the same that I think could give her a nice setup. But let's take a decent look at this one. She is running 1 mile and 1/8, 1 mile 3/16 the last two. Okay numbers. I noted that there were very fast fractions for that race. I had the winner that day, so it says set up for my pick. But she's improving 3 races so far, and she's got Manny Franco on top of her, so we'll see how she does and how she compares. And that was at a grade 3 last time. This was a 5 furlong for number 2, Something Stronger. Lasix are going off. Very good run at Churchill Downs. I like the number. I'm just not sure I like the step up in class yet, but I can't totally throw her out. So I think she's going to be someone I use in tries and super, but she could stretch out and do okay because she's out of Justify and she's got the breeding to do just fine going longer. The next one is Love You Anyway. Love You Anyway, another one. I love the pattern. Improved 3 straight races. These are young fillies, 3-year-olds, so any of them can continue on and jump up in this race. So I'm looking for ones that are throwing patterns down like this or a big skew that I think is run against much better horses. But this horse does have Saez aboard, improving, and at the distance at 1 mile 16th last time, and has run a mile. So I would definitely keep an eye on number 3. Number 4 is Princess Attitude. Done nothing wrong. Competitive every race. Needs to step up, I believe, number-wise to be able to win this thing. However, that can happen. Again, they're 3-year-olds, and she has improved every single race, as you can see, that she's ever run. As a matter of fact, literally every race she's ever run, she's improved. So I do like that. Still think she needs to get a little bit faster. Okay, let's move on to Lush Lips. That's a good name, right? Over here, I noted for a front speed horse, did not get out well, but did finish well. So in the last race, you can see it's in blue on time form. So it was a slow pace up front, grade 2, and did not get out well. Well, now Pratt's going to get another shot with this one. She has run against Nitrogen. So I believe Lush Lips has a good looking pattern, is improving. And if she is okay from being scratched from a vet last time, then I think she'll do well. Let's see what kind of work she has. She's been steadily working, so I believe she's going to be fine. Number 6 is Vixen. Vixen is another one with a top out at 107, so she's run fast. She's run against Nitrogen. Same thing, slow pace last time. Has IRAD, and is another one of the Cassie brother horses, so this one here is definitely in play. Ninth Island, Brian Hernandez is on this one. Just won at Lone Star in Houston. I really think this is a huge class jump, like the breeding, but I think she has to get really a bit faster to compete for the win end here. She could definitely hit exactas and trifectas, but she'll be one that's battling up towards the front. And the last one's number 8, Favor to You. Favor to You, it's been running 6 furlongs, jumping up to the mile. Have no problem with that. You got Frey Sue riding her. She's got good breeding for the distance, so I would say another step up, and this one can be competitive. However, I do think she needs to get faster to be able to win this race. So let's go back and take a quick review. We got Fixin' to Be. I'm going to put her in the place position. I like her for 2nd or 3rd. Something Stronger. I don't know what she's going to do. I'm going to put her in the show position, but she could improve, but any any horse that I put in show, I also consider them, well, they could also get second. Love You Anyway. Good pattern. Think needs to get faster. I'll throw that one in the show position also. I am not. Princess Attitude would have to beat me in this race. Lush Lips is my top selection. If she is fine and the works have helped her, I think she is the horse to beat. And I think Vixen right here is the second horse that you have to beat in this race. Otherwise, we'll go show there. So let's scroll back to the top where it'll put my numbers. I've got the 5 on top over the 1, 6, and then the 2, 3, 7 for my trifecta if I try to do a straight trifecta. But 5 is my selection in this race, and 5 is Lush Lips. Okay, let's move on to the next race. Let's see what time it is. It's about 10 minutes till I got to get the heck out of here, so I better pick up the pace. Okay, let's go to the Grade 3 Stakes. This is the Kelly's Landing. It is 6.5 furlong sprint. I do remember looking at this. There's a crap load of speed up front. You've got Booth, Otto the Conqueror, Rolling on Joe, and they can cut some decent fractions. And then you've got 3 Technique and Dr. Venkman with a good close. So if it gets set up that way, Churchill's been paying pretty good to speed, so we'll have to see how it cuts out. But let's get into this since I'm running short on time. We've got Dr. Venkman as the one horse. He's been running a Grade 3, a Grade 1. He's topped out at a 122 against Nisos last time. Fraysel would be riding him coming in from Santa Anita. Good looking horse. All right, 3 Technique. 3 Technique to me is getting a bit long in the tooth. Always has been a good horse. You have to give a punching chance because of his closing kick into all this speed. I don't like him on the wind end, but I wouldn't be totally shocked if things fell apart and set up for a horse like him. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 is Booth. Booth is the hot horse right now. He won at Pimlico in the Maryland Sprint. He's been cutting in the 120s on his time form numbers. On the front end, he's a 133 early with time form. You don't see that often for the actual number. You can see it posted every now and then, but not for that horse's average. So Booth definitely will be out front. If he gets out fine, he's going to be motoring on that, and it's just a matter of how long and how far he can go and how much pressure he gets. Roll on Joe, losing LASIK, stepping up in company, but if I remember right, yeah, he's 1 for 1 at Churchill at 6.5. And I like that he's cut a couple 120 numbers. I think Roll on Joe right now is in a good situation for himself. He's running well. Otto the Conqueror, another one that I really thought it'd be faster at this point. Running decent, can't throw him out, but not for the win in for me. I think Otto is going to be a second or third place type of horse, and probably more third place for me anyway. But he is a 4-year-old. He can improve. Happy as a choice. Top ended last year or early this year at a 117 at Oaklawn. I will say that a lot of those numbers at that time at Oaklawn were coming up kind of high. So he's got a like 112. The fractions last time were pretty darn quick. I expected a bit more close out of him. So again, maybe pick up the pieces type to me. Then we moved to Red Flag. Is this the one that Red Flag? He's 2 for 2 at 6.5. But he's never won at Churchill. But he's still top ended at 113. That's not even close to a Booth. So to me, nah. And then Durante. Durante is running pretty darn good. I can't remember if I had him last time. I think I just used him in horizontals, but I didn't bet him straight or even in exactas that day. So I really kind of made a mistake. But Durante, I think, sets up nice. He's running in good situations right now. He topped out at a 117 in his last start, and he's 1 for 3 at Churchill Downs. So I definitely think he's got a shot in this race. The horse you have to beat is Booth. Am I 100% sold on Booth? No, I'm not 100% sold on him, but I got to put him on top. So here's my numbers. I've got Booth on top of Dr. Venkman, Roll on Joe, and Durante. So I'm probably going to run him first and second in exactas if he's not too short. And then I'll use horizontal him as a key. And then I'll also stretch one longer ticket with maybe the 148 in there. But they're going to have to come get him. Right now he's hot. but he's got to go 6.5. Okay, let's get to the 10th race, and I got to get moving. Let me get a little quick swig. That chemo will dry you out, and you got to drink a lot of water. Okay, here we go. No, the Wise Dan. We're going to knock through this booger since I'm getting short on time. We got a couple good closers in this race. Mercante's going to be your front end. Mercante made me very happy last time. But let's see if I like him today. Okay, number 1 is Henro. Dirt, first turf, I believe, yes. So, against this kind of competition, he has got to show me that he can compete. So, as a no. Let's go to Lagnos. Really ran a very good race last time. Like I said, I was all over Mercante, and I loved him that day. But I didn't like Lagnos that day, but I did well with him last year. But I kind of like him today. I think he's got a good pattern. He's improving. He's a 4-year-old. To me, he's a player for sure. Number 3 is Mi Hermano Ramon. Again, another one. You're going to see a lot of horses in this race are running good numbers. He's done nothing wrong. Even getting beat, he's running great numbers. He's coming from Santa Anita. He was at Gulfstream. And he's somebody that can absolutely pick up the paces, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wins. He's not my top choice, but good horse. Here's Mercante, who dropped a little bit from a 129 to a 125 in his last start, which I have no problem with because that was as high on turf, and it set up great for him. I think he's still improving. He is a 5-year-old. Jose Ramos, I have no problem with him. Runs at Indy a lot. And if you look at that jockey-trainer combo, you gotta love it. It's sitting beautiful at 80% right there on the meat. So Mercante, a player. 5, Event Detail, another one that just shot a pretty good number. He was in the Mercante race. I think maybe he got dragged around number-wise in that race. So for me, I don't like him on the win-in, but I'd throw him, of course, in the shows or maybe even places, because you never know how hard a jockey is riding in or a horse feels at the end. Number 6 is Talking Candy. Kind of the same boat I've been saying. Running decent numbers. I think he's a little step below, but this will be his 3rd race off of a layoff after a little bit of time, and he is definitely a good horse. Dropping to a little bit shorter distance, so we'll see. He may even get faster going shorter. Number 7 is Brilliant Birdie. She was is it a he or a she? I don't even know. He was the favorite last time in the Mercante race. He ran very good. Shocked me he was on the front end, and I loved Mercante that day. So I didn't like Brilliant Birdie that day, but look at her. The numbers are just improving. 4-year-old improving every single race. Absolutely nothing you can see bad about that horse, and especially on this track. Fort Washington, another one, improving brilliantly, runs steady numbers, step up in class a little bit, but man, this is such a good race. You just got to go with what you think. He's been running a little longer in that last one, but I think he's a player. I don't like him on the win-in, but I'm not shocked if he wins. And number 9 is Seminole Chief, is a good banging horse. Did well at Gulfstream Park. We got to find out if he really only likes Gulfstream, because he runs his best numbers there. But don't be silly and don't totally throw him out, because he's beat some good fields in the past. But I'm probably going to like him more for a show or place today. So let's get to my selection. Let's scroll up top here. And my selection is number 7. I put the 2 in the 7 because I think Lagnos, I really like the way it sets up for him. But I think Brilliant Birdie is the horse today, even though I went against him last time. But this is a great race. I wouldn't be surprised if we have 20 people make comments and everybody had a different comment. So let me know what you think. But that's what I think. I think it's the 7, and I'm going to have backup ticket with the 2. Otherwise, you're going to get real deep. You got to take a shot somewhere. Now, let's move on to race 11, the Stephen Foster. What time do we got here? Yeah, I got about 4 minutes. So we're going to knock this baby out. All right, so here we go. The Stephen Foster, let's take a look. Here's the pace projector picture. Here's the pace projector numbers. You know, there's really not a whole lot of front speed in this race, but we've got about 5 horses that are all pretty close up front. So they can cut a good enough fractions. That is really going to help set it up for a Sierra Leone or a hit show. Sierra Leone did not have a great race last time, but he really didn't have a great pace either. So let's see how we look at this mile and eighth race. Number 1 is First Mission. First Mission ran beautifully last time. I actually had Banishing on top that day. I didn't turn the First Mission exact over enough, so I was a little bummed. But he ran fast, fantastic. He's taken some time off from April. Let's see if he can improve on that number of a 128. Excuse me. And medicine will get you. All right. So First Mission, running good numbers, grade 2. So let's go on to the next horse, Mindframe. Mindframe is one that everybody thought was going to be a super horse. Ran great last year. A couple close losses while being young and ranked. He's done nothing wrong this year with a couple, a 115 and a 118. So he's padding his numbers. He's a 4-year-old, third time out. I expect a bump forward on him. And especially stretching out. I think Mindframe with Irad's going to run very well on Saturday. Now we've got number 3, Skippy Long Stockings. What a consistent horse this is. And turns very good numbers. But when it comes to the top competition, just has never gotten it done. I think he's good enough to hit the board. I don't like him on the win end today. But he's got a good close. He's got a good front. And he's a fighter, so any kind of type you have horse like that, you got to use him somewhere, right? Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone's last number was his worst one in a while, but it was only his first race of the year. I'm sure Brown's had him working great. Maybe get him in a better early rhythm, and hopefully those 4 horses go at each other a bit. And I have no problem with his last race because he got beat by a horse that loves fairgrounds and is pretty damn good at fairgrounds. So, yeah, I throw nothing away from Sierra Leone. Mystic Dan, really loved him last time. He ran really good. Getting him at 3-1 was beautiful. He's back at Churchill for the second time. And when he runs his race, he runs pretty fast. So I think he's somebody that you have to use. Do I like him this time for the win as much? No, but he seems to get good trips with Brian Hernandez Jr., so we'll see how this one pans out. Hit Show went across the pond, ran damn good, got a win, and he's run good numbers in the past, so he's not one that you can throw out easily. I think he's, with Cox and Guru, I think he's somebody that he's a player somewhere, so, you got to use him somewhere if you're betting tries and supers. I'm looking for horizontals in this scenario with all these races to try to really pound one, so I'm not sure I'll use him on that. And the last one's Ashcroft. Ashcroft will be a little pace. I don't see him being fast enough, so I don't like Ashcroft much at all today. So let's go up to my selections. And my selections, let's bring out the names here, are going to be the 4. I'm going with Sierra Leone, even though I would like a lot more pace up front. I think he can bounce back today. And then I really think there's kind of a bunch of horses in there. You've got Mindframe. You've got Mystic Dan, you've got Skippy, you got Hip Show. Everybody kind of has a chance in this race. If there was somebody that I thought would upset him, I just like Mystic Dan at this track, and I think Mindframe takes another step forward. He can definitely compete with these also. But hell, this is almost an all race, except for the 7. I don't think 7's got a shot. And I really don't like Skippy Long Stockings on the win end. But the rest of them, they have a chance. But if you're asking me right now, who's my top pick, I'm going to go with Sierra Leone. And since we're out of time, I'm just going to go to my selections in the last race if I have it done. Oh, I did have it done. I didn't have it up top. Okay, so Reagan's Wit ran very well at Pimlico. Flying Mohawk, improving. First, Artistastic. I think he should be on the turf. I wouldn't be surprised if he runs a big race. Don't like the 4. 5's okay, improving. You got Walden and Torres, and actually I think they'll bet him, but I don't like him for the win. Native Runner, improving young horse. Don't like him for the win. Soleil Volant, I think is how you pronounce that. Yeah. I think he's got a chance. I'm going to have him in there as a place horse. Let's go to 8. Freedom's Not Free. Great name. Great name, especially as a Marine talking about it. That is a great name. Has a chance. I'm going to run him maybe to pick up some pieces. And then this horse here ran at Churchill, got a 111 against Zulu Kingdom. Zulu really didn't run well after that race, and I don't think many did. But with that number, I gotta put that horse in there maybe for a place or show. And the last horse is, and I like the pattern. That's a show horse to me. And so I'm coming back to the horse that I think you have to beat is Reagan's Wit. Ran a little bit goofy on occasions up the stretch, but I think for sure this is the one to beat. So my selection in the last race, and that is the American Derby, I think you got to beat Reagan's Wit, and I'm going with Reagan's Wit, and I'm probably singling that horse. Even though the last race of sequences of pick fives, pick six is very scary to do that. So I appreciate you watching. I'm sorry I had to barrel through this a little quick. I've got to head off for treatment, but I love doing this, and I appreciate everybody watching. So please like, subscribe, throw in comments, let me know what you think, whether I'm nuts or not, which I think I know about where I'm at on that. But anyway, this is Frank with Frankly Horse Racing. Have a wonderful next couple days. What is today? Wednesday. And enjoy Stephen Foster Day at Churchill. It's a really good card. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.